was ordered changed by the court.
Yeah. The court said,
to be honest, that's all I remember because, like you said, that's 20 years ago.
Yeah, the United States Supreme Court said the District 23 Latino voters were poised to elect their candidate of choice. They're becoming more politically active with a marked and continuous rise in Spanish surname voter registration. In successive elections, Latinos were voting in greater numbers, and in 2002, they almost ousted them. Webb County, in particular, with a 94% Latino population, spurred the incumbent near defeat with dramatically increased turnout in 2002. They go on. But yet, the people that drew this map that you've not met, that you've not talked to, well, that's not true. That's not true. We now know that you talked to Adam Kincaid 3 times.
No, you can
laugh all you want.
I've mentioned in the past that I knew Adam Kincaid.
You can laugh all you want. You've been asked by a lot of people in this room.
You're getting way out of line.
I'm not.
No, you're getting way out of line.
I am not getting way out of line.
You haven't been in those committee hearings. You haven't seen or heard what's been stated in those committee hearings.
It's 2000.
You said that yourself.
It's 2025. I can watch you on TV, and by the way, I have.
Members, if we can have order and then ask the question and then answer the question. Don't talk over each other, if you please. Senator King, you have the floor.
Let me ask you this as my last question. Were you aware that you split up the Kickapoo tribe? Were you aware of that?
No.
Are you aware that there's another tribe in West Texas, the Tiguas?
Yes.
Were you aware that you might have split up members of their population as well?
Are you aware of all the counties that are split up in the current map in North Texas?
Oh, I'm aware that.
Point is,
I'm aware that not only did you do that, I'm aware that this map splits up 444 voter precincts at the block level solely to get at racial bias. That's what I'm aware of. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Senator King, you recognize.
This map does not violate the VRA or any other legal requirements. Every redistricting map in place today for the state of Texas breaks up voting precincts, divides counties. That's what has to happen when you have rural, urban, and suburban districts. There's nothing racial in the construction of this map. Thank you, Mr. President.
Members of the Senate will stand at ease for 5 minutes.
Valentina! ¿Qué pena conocer? Ay. Yes, like that. Nice. You training this guy? Huh? You training this guy? You about training? That's my friend. We train together, yeah. Training together? Yeah, let's go. Let's go, keep going. How many you did? 8. Nice, keep going. 3 left. 1. 2. 1 more. Yeah, relax a little bit. Alright, there's a problem? We can't train together? Yeah, you can train together, but you're not supposed to train clients. We can train together? We can train together. Train that's together my friend. With your friend, it's fine. That's my friend. I'm taking help him out. You can't train clients. I know, I'm here longer than you. Excuse me. I know already. Man, what the fuck? Truck, bitch. Truck.
Merely made a gesture, and his wife immediately set down her bowl and stood up before she could even clear the table. He had already shoved her onto it. The table shifted from the impact. Within 5 seconds, he stopped moving. His sexual impotence gradually twisted his psyche. Exploiting his role as a kindergarten teacher, he recorded the children's voices and extorted ransom from their parents. Once the payments were received, those children would meet a vicious end. To evade police capture, he threatened Anna's child, forcing her to take full blame for the crimes. To protect her child, Anna accepted the false charges and was sentenced to 13 years in prison, but behind bars. Anna planned her revenge every waking moment. She relentlessly helped others and pursued rehabilitation, eventually earning a reduced sentence and early release. After her release, Anna sought out the man's wife, Lucy, whom she had once saved in prison, to repay the debt. Lucy had deliberately approached the man and married him. The two secretly plotted revenge. Unaware the man had informants monitoring them. Learning of Anna's return, the man decided to strike first. He tied Lucy up, then calmly ate his meal, waiting for Anna to walk into his trap, but he never expected. Lucy had already drugged his food. By the time Anna arrived, he was unconscious. Anna restrained him, and on his phone, she found a keychain, each charm representing a murdered child. The number of his victims stretched far beyond one or two. Anna tried to force the truth from him, but he refused to speak. They searched the entire house, and finally found hidden tapes beneath a table. Anna contacted the parents of the victims, and publicly played the recordings of their children's final moments. Only then did the parents realize their children had been killed, before they'd even paid the ransoms. Consumed with rage, the families demanded justice. Anna gave them two choices: hand the man over to the police, or carry out their own punishment. After deliberation, they chose to exact revenge themselves. They drew lots to determine the order, then entered the room one by one. The man did not survive. Afterward, the group methodically cleaned the scene, stood in a row, and took a photo together, a silent VOW to never speak of the secret they now share.
Brought up in committee. I have sent him a letter myself inviting him to testify before the committee. There is nothing that is not transparent in this process. If you want to know what his specific roles have been, you probably need to have asked the House about that during their committees, or had someone asking in their floor debate. I do not know the specifics of his involvement. I just wanted to clarify that. So thank you. Oh, I said August 19th. I meant July 19th. I'm sorry, my apologies. Thank you, Senator.
Senator Gutierrez, what purpose?
Well, and I don't want to belabor any points here. I just have one question since he's brought back this
you have a
information.
question for
First
the
off,
author?
thank you.
Senator
Thank you.
King, do you yield?
Yes.
It's really just one question. Thank you, Senator King, and thank you for giving us that information. I don't know, because I am fallible too, but I'm pretty sure, because it was so important to me then. When we laid out the rules on the first special session, I mentioned Mr. Kincaid, and you said you'd never spoke to him. Now, I'm going to go back at the record at the different times of the different hearings where other people have asked you that. But it's just, I remember myself specifically asking you about him. But I thank you now for giving us this information.
Senator King?
I don't recall that conversation, but if I said that, it would have been an error. And I've mentioned the 3 times I've spoken to him.
Chair recognizes Senator Eckhart. For what purpose?
To ask questions of the author.
Senator King, do you yield?
Certainly.
Thank you so much, Senator King. Back when we were discussing the rules in the first special, we discussed your hiring of a law firm. Do you recall telling this body who you anticipated the law firm would be representing?
I probably said they would be.
They had responded that they could not represent you.
No, that's not correct. I went to them because I was having difficulty finding a firm, and I know that in previous cycles, they had provided the jingles analysis and things like that. And so in trying to narrow down what I might need from a law firm, I spoke with them and said, can you provide those services? They have, as you know, they've got kind of a new team over there. They got back with me later and said, we no longer have anyone in-house who can provide those type of services.
Did you ever ask for the Attorney General's analysis of either the 2021 map or either of the 2 maps that have been produced in this mid-decade redistricting?
No, we did request, at the committee's request, we did ask for the Attorney General's office to send us all the pleadings and all the court documents from the El Paso trial, and that was, we got it actually that day as one of the early hearings. We distributed it to all the committee members.
Did you ask for the Attorney General's RPVA analysis?
I don't recall. I know we just asked for all the court filings on the El Paso case. And that was at the request of one of the Democrat members of the committee.
Did you ask for the ecological inference analysis, the regression?
I did not know.
But you're aware that RPVA and EI are standard analyses?
And that may have been part of what they produced for us. I don't know. It was a pretty big file. It was a digital file they transmitted.
So you've previously testified that you don't know who drew this map that's before us today.
No, I've said that I know Adam King is very complex, and I think is the, I would prefer it had 7, but I think 5 is very reasonable at this point in the process.
And if you had gone for 7, you would have mathematically violated the Voting Rights Act because you would have dismantled minority opportunity districts to do it, correct?
I have no idea if that's true. Common sense tells me if I would go mathematically, I'm probably going to be thinning out some other Republican districts.
That
I
too.
haven't.
Good
But
point.
I haven't tried to draw a map with 7 or 10 or 8 Republican districts in it. This map has been presented by the House. I think it's a good map. I've been told it's legal. I've looked at the data with regard to political performance. I think those 5 seats that we would have a reasonable chance of prevailing as Republicans in them. And I think it's more compact. And so I think it's a good map. I'm not a redistricting lawyer, but I have found no need throughout this entire process, from the first day I was asked if I would chair the committee, I have found no need to look at racial data. I have had no desire to look at racial data.
And it's actually
All I've wanted to do is to make sure that any map I recommended was legal.
Again, you do not find it appropriate for you to look at racial data, but you recognize that your law firm and the map drawer had to look at racial data in order to analyze under Jingles.
Yes.
Now, with regard to compactness, you are aware that about 1/3 of Travis County's population is Latino, correct?
I have not looked at that, but I certainly take your word.
And you're aware that
Representative Hunter, I doubt.
Believe me, Senator, I understand the issue. And during the 1990s redistricting, at one point, my district from Laredo was redrawn all the way to El Paso, 615 miles away. New Orleans is closer to Laredo than El Paso. Yet for 2 years, I represented part of El Paso.
Wow. Well, thank you for bringing the amendment forward. I see that you have quite a few co-authors, and I think it's an excellent amendment. And I mean, if for nothing else, to save future chairs of redistricting, if we had your amendment, we wouldn't have to do this ourselves. The commission would do it, and then people could have confidence and faith that politicians weren't picking their voters, that the voters would get to select and elect their politicians.
Well, we've never had a hearing, but at least we have some floor attention today.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Senator, for answering my question.
Thank you.
Senator Johnson, what purpose?
Statement on the bill?
Statement on the bill, that would be,
We're not there yet?
we're on an amendment.
Oh, no. That's not really on.
Okay. Senator Zaffirini, I thought when you spoke, everyone hung on every word. And Senator Johnson didn't know. It wasn't your amendment.
I'm so disappointed.
I know. Well, that would have still been too soon. Yeah, it's on third and final passage you make your statements.
Senator King on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Dean Safrarini, these are redistricting commission is always a very, very interesting discussion. It's been brought up in the legislature many times. Although I'm not sure this is germane to this bill, but I'm not calling a point of order on that. I also wonder if it requires a constitutional amendment, which I'm not sure for. But the larger question is that this is a really substantial change in how Texas operates. And I think it's more appropriate that it be brought up in a standalone bill during the next regular session, where it can be considered in hearing and where we can hear from all the interested stakeholders and constituents on that, because it is such a substantial change to our process. I know that in talking to other states, I know in some places it's worked out well. In others, it has not at all. It's just become another political problem. And so with that, I would respectfully oppose the motion with the suggestion that it be brought up next session for a full discussion before the legislature.
Secretary will call the roll. Secretary will call the roll when ready.
Alvarado, Betancourt, Bardwell, Blanco.
11 ayes and 18 nays. The amendment fails. You're recognized for passage to engrossment.
So moved.
Third reading. The House bill. Secretary will call the roll when ready.
Alvarado, Betancourt, Bardwell, Blanco, Campbell.
18 ayes, 11 nays. The bill passes the third reading. We'll hold.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, members, for the long day. Thankfully, not snarkily. Thank you for being patient with me.
Members, following bills and resolutions on first reading and reference to committee, Secretary will read the bills and resolutions.
House Bill 1 relating to youth camp and campground emergency preparedness to the Select Committee on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding. House Bill 3 relating to the inoperability of emergency communication equipment and infrastructure in this state to the Select Committee on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding. House Bill 20 relating to certain measures to prevent and reduce fraudulent charitable solicitations and theft during disasters to the Select Committee on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding. House Bill 22 relating to the authority of the Comptroller to provide funding for the deployment and operation of certain emergency communication equipment to the Select Committee on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding.
Well, last Saturday was born down and thing.
Second, that during the
Denies that opportunity. Working class families are paired with faraway suburbs that have nothing in common.
And steal congressional seats. And yes, I mean steal. When you take what doesn't belong to you, it's called stealing. Fact, these congressional seats do not belong to any elected official, any one party, or any president. They belong to the people. The people. This is about citizens in this state of a district having the ability to elect a candidate of their choice, From the beginning of this process, of mid-district and mid-decade redistricting has been a complete sham, as I said earlier, and a farce. You know, some of you may know and some of you may not care, but August 6th was the 60th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act in Texas, in this country. And Texas has been found guilty of violating the Voters' Rights Act every decade since enacted.
We're fucked up.
Every doggone decade for the last
I'm sorry.
2 decades.
It's legit.
As I said before,
Quick paycheck, it's obvious.
and I mean this, and I want y'all to hear this,
Jack's drunk because he's having a
you
kid.
cannot be complicit in racist actions and get mad when someone calls you a racist.
All right, 10 seconds.
You can no longer hide the racism of your party. Once more, we face a map that does not reflect the truth of Texas, but instead manipulates and whitewashes it. They call it redistricting, but let's be clear, it's rigged districting. When you imbalance the voting of the guarantee one result, that's not democracy, that's rigging. And when you rig, the people's choice is taken away. Texas is the home of the largest black population in the United States. That should mean something. And how these maps are drawn. But instead of recognizing that, that's the reality, this map seeks to bury it. It takes the voices of black Texans, splits them up, dilutes them, packs them, cracks them, and erodes black voices in this state. Let's dig a little deeper and a little closer to home. Houston's black population accounts for 35% of the state's overall black population. And instead of recognizing that and creating an additional opportunity, you pack Congressional District 18. Disintegrate the black vote in Congressional District 9, move them to 18, and have the audacity to act as if you've done us a favor. The population has grown, but you've gone backwards with this map. Decreasing black opportunity seats from 2 to 1 in Houston and across the state are not gifts. Come on, y'all. We can count. We all know basic math. Packing Congressional District 18 is not representation. Destroying 9 is not representation. It is suppression. And make no mistake, suppression is rigged districting.
Here she is.
In committee, over and over and over again, the chair reiterated, the map is laid out. Maps he admits he did not draw. They were drawn race blind. The bottom line to that is, it's impossible. It lacks knowledge. Everyone in this chamber knows that black folks in Texas overwhelmingly vote Democratic. That's not a secret to anyone. So when you set out to create more Republican seats, what are you really doing? It's dismantling the ability of black Texans to elect candidates who truly represent their community interests. It's common sense. Not to mention, the maps were drawn by a national Republican redistricting committee.
Aye.
But let me make it clear, there can be no fairness for Hispanic Texans, if there's no fairness for black Texans. If there's no fairness for any of us, there can be no fairness for any voter in this state. But when you silence one community, you weaken democracy for all of us. And when you weaken democracy, you take the congressional seats away from people they belong to and hand them over as property.
Wrong damn address. No.
This map strips away. Strips it all away. That's what this map does.
The girl from Imagine waking up in
It is a slap in the face of black voters.
In Miami Beach was
A slap in the face of Hispanic voters
130. It was a crazy.
and every voter who calls Texas home. And if Texas is truly for one for all,
Do the
then
calculation.
voting must matter to all people.
Be worth $100 million, which means that the U.S.
In Texas, we have witnessed to the unrelenting massive assault on Voting Rights Act,
Warren Buffett knows this.
diminishing the political voices of black and browns and marginalizing
Bottom line
people
is, you're
unlike
right.
anywhere else since the
Okay,
Jim
so
Crow
the
era.
answer is you shouldn't have any
This
more,
mid-districting
right?
or
You're
this rigged districting
losing
is just a tactic
7% of
and another
your wealth
assault.
every year, and a good
You know, I was in a barbershop the other day when I got a chance to go home, Royce.
10% of your wealth.
This old 70, maybe 80-year-old black man came in, and he started talking about redistricting to me
After
and this whole situation.
years in the United States,
He described it like this.
reported, and we have been in Mexico 91 for 20 years.
It's Jim Crow in a new Cadillac.
His family and had nothing to come back to. A lot of people ask, well, wasn't that the point?
The people of Texas have spoken through testimony,
Only small
through
percentage
protests,
supposed to be put
through their
away
presence
in case that
at this
he
Capitol.
had to come so back. Now we are here.
Yet leadership turned a deaf ear,
And we
acting as if those voices do not matter.
so that we have a place to live.
I once heard the four most powerful words in democracy.
This is definitely
The
not
people
your
have spoken.
TV series. It is a survival mode series.
But it's clear that the leadership of this state
So at least there is
and this
something
nation
here that we can start with. We've already
don't want to hear
so
the
that
black and
his
brown
mom
folks
can have her
speak.
own room downstairs now.
And it's clear
Deporting back to Mexico,
that the leadership in the state
not wish it upon
is
me.
not listening
It is no easy.
when 98% of the people who testified, who chimed in on this map,
Throughout this whole
on this redistricting,
he has the patience
spoke against it.
and
98%.
He has the universe. I swear, I don't know how I would be able to do this.
2% was in favor
James starting over
of this map.
to get our lives
2%.
back now that he's back in Mexico. There are definitely parts of Mexico that
Let me
I
remind you,
so much. The
black
peace
voices
I
matter,
so much.
brown voices
Rush,
matter.
rush.
Every voice in this state matters.
After
And when you deny those voices, you're not redistricting. Once again, you're rigged districting. You know, let's make a note. Whenever an issue of equality and rights, such as this map, comes up in Republican
Process bringing redistricting into mid-decade just in time for a midterm,
Said Aiden, I will fight our
and doing it with a law firm under attorney-client privilege and pretending that you don't have access to the information that they used
We can get Drake to fight for free on brand risk and he fights
is
Eddie.
going
And I can fight Bijan. I said we run it. Let's do it. I'll fight Bijan. Drake fights Eddie. It's amazing. All right? I'll be ref. Huh? You ref. You ref.